Good afternoon. It's nice to be back in Cedar Falls after a really long weekend. I got back around 11 o'clock last night with a very exhausted team. Had a really good showing down in Topeka, where we faced the University of Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa State, Northern Arizona, and Arkansas Little Rock, which is one of our conference opponents. And to be honest, when we got there, I wasn't quite sure what kind of team would show up. We hadn't been real battle tested throughout this year, and this was our first opportunity to really face some really tough competition, and I didn't know how they were going to respond. This team kind of just picked up right where they left off at the end of last year, starting with our 500 freestylers came out, and through the first day, every single person on the team was faster than they had been throughout the entire season. We had season best throughout, and as a matter of fact, throughout the entire weekend, we only had one girl that didn't have a season best, and the only reason she didn't is because 5 minutes before she just finished an event which she swam 4 seconds faster in the 200 backstroke, and then was up in the early heats of the next event. So she didn't have an opportunity to really recover, and that was the only reason that she wouldn't have gone at her best time. So overall, it was just a fantastic weekend. Really solidified where this team's going. Some of the highlights of the weekend: Katie Taylor by far was probably the headliner for us. She went in the first day, broke the 200 IM record in the morning, broke her own record again in the evening. Turned around the next day in the 100 backstroke, broke school record there, broke it again in the evening, and then the last day was just off the school record in the morning, came back and beat it at night. So 3 events, 3 school records, not bad for a freshman coming in for her first real big meet. So she kind of helped light the spark, and she was named our team's top performer, followed by our second top performer was Molly Lembaziter, who had kind of been struggling a little bit in her sprinting all year, but we told her to be patient, and she right out of the first event, swam the 50 freestyle, finished second, swimming as fast as she did last year at the end of the year. And so it really kind of set the tone for what we were trying to do when the girls were not afraid. You know, they walked into this, in the years past, we would go against these teams and they would automatically see themselves as inferior, where now they're stepping up and saying, you know what, this is who we are, this is what we need to do, and really carried a lot of confidence that I think they earned in the past year, and kind of just really came in there, and it was a delightful weekend throughout. Now, by the end of the weekend, after 6 sessions, this is something that they had physically trained for, but we didn't quite rest as much as as we kind of maybe would for another meet, and so if we want to use the analogy of we were the space shuttle entering the re-atmosphere on the way down, the solar panels and all the protective stuff was starting to fly off, and so we were trying to hold us together with duct tape by the time they do, and they had to swim with heart. They had to swim with desire and really put together the toughness, and not only did they do that, the last session was maybe arguably our best session, where they were, physically you could say they were hurting, but emotionally and mentally they swam for each other. They really dug deep and gave everything they possibly could, and we kind of gotten a little bit of a dogfight with Northern Arizona, where we kind of really dominated them in the first couple of days, but were finishing really strong, so to hold them off, we need to have some great swims and have people moved up, and they did just that and really elevated themselves. So we were able to beat Arkansas Little Rock and Northern Arizona. Northern Arizona is the WAC conference champion, and so a very good team we were able to knock off in the invite form, so we were excited about that, and just behind Iowa State, Nebraska, and Kansas, and so we're moving up and being able to be competitive. Not only that, the girls are having fun, there was a lot of confidence, and we're just not knowing what was going to turn out at the beginning of the meet. I'm really excited about where we go from here. Next weekend we will be heading to Omaha for an invitational with the University of Nebraska Omaha, as well as Northern Colorado. Should be a good fight for us. It's another 3-day meet, again preparing us for our conference championships in February. We'll be a little better rested for that, and a little bit more ability to see some sharpness. And so again, we're going to use this weekend as a catapult forward into hopefully a better weekend next week. Any questions? All right, have yourself a very happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you soon.